What did you all think about Johnny Gargano versus Kushida for the North American Championship? That match I thought was phenomenal.
Amazing
It was
match.
an amazing
Yep.
match.
Amazing
Great
match.
match.
I thought
Best match on the card.
the wrong person won, but it was an amazing match. Kushida showed why he's special.
Yeah, he really
And
did. He put on
he's
his
somebody
best
that
performance.
I think in due time he will get a championship opportunity. Maybe they see bigger things with him than the NXT North American Championship. Maybe they see the NXT Heavyweight Championship. But look, let's be realistic here. Johnny Gargano is a popular figure in NXT. He still is.
Mhm.
The merchandise sales show it. His popularity shows it. He's still drawing. I mean, he's Johnny Wrestling. He's Mr. NXT. He's essentially Mr. NXT. He is the Shawn Michaels of NXT.
Exactly.
He is.
That's
Yes,
essentially what
That's
he
what they're
is.
trying to bill him as.
That's exactly it. And that's why
And
you
They've
will never...
compared it to him. They've compared him multiple times to Shawn Michaels on the show.
Shawn
They
works
said he's
closely.
Johnny Takeover.
I
And
thought
then they compared him like how Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. They said that before, and I don't know if they're trying to do it or it just happened, but
Well, really
it's definitely what they're trying to do.
before Alex goes, there's two guys specifically that Shawn Michaels directly works with very closely in NXT. That's Adam Cole and that's Johnny Gargano. Those are two guys he has worked with very, very closely that he has made kind of his students. And you can see Johnny Gargano. I don't think should ever be on the main roster. I think he's just fine in NXT.
yeah, I
think-
agree. He's
I think
perfect
that's
where he is.
There's certain
Yeah.
guys that belong in just NXT. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. There are certain guys that just need to stick in NXT. You can
I
make the
disagree
case
with
for
that a
Adam
little bit.
Cole.
I
That's
think
fine.
I think Adam Cole and how over he is someone the main roster really needs.
I understand, but the problem is the young fans and the kids won't understand his character. 'cause
Yeah, they
never
won't
saw him.
connect to
They
his
won't
character
understand the
very well.
character.
They won't
That's the
understand
problem.
it.
That's why the NXT fans
I
understand
disagree.
it.
You said it before on Takedown Breakdown that the kids loved Adam Cole. I don't think they need to understand. They've got to understand Bay Bay. That's all they have to understand.
But you see, that's the thing, though. Will Vince change his character up?
No,
That
I don't think so. If he's over, he won't.
I
So was
don't-
Keith
I don't know.
Lee. Keith Lee was completely over, and Vince completely ruined the character. I mean,
Did
dude,
he ruin it
changed-
because he wanted to, or because of the theme song? He had to change it because he wasn't allowed to. use that
Actually,
anymore.
me and Josh
Yes.
talked about this months ago when they changed his music theme to
oh,
music
it's the worst.
to generic
Terrible.
music that sounds like it came out of SmackDown versus Raw
It sounds like
2011.
SmackDown vs. Raw, create a wrestler. I mean,
Yeah,
that's literally what it
it
sounds like. The
does.
most generic voice. Dude, he's already on his third theme song since the main roster. His third. They changed his wrestling attire. They changed everything about him. And it's so flimsy and stupid that you see something like this and you say to yourself, and Lyle, you and I have talked about this off the air, and Alex, you and I have talked about this on the air. Keith Lee was a gold mine. In
Oh, yeah,
NXT.
he
Dude,
was.
his T-shirt came out.
When his
His
Bask
first-
in the Glory
his
T-shirt
first-
came
his
out,
His first T-shirt came out, and it was the number one shirt on WWE.
yeah,
Shop
it
for a month.
was for a
And it
long
should have
time.
been
and
champion
Vince ruined
longer.
it. I agree
He
with
should have
you.
been champion longer and
Absolutely.
should have held that belt longer. I felt like
Absolutely.
that was a disservice to him, and it took away some of his momentum by him losing it so much and going up to the main roster. Also, after he won the belt, I felt like he got exposed as not being the best on the mic and being monotone, especially going up to the main roster.
You can
That
make the
kind of
case for
exposed
that.
him a little bit. That promo he had right after the week after he won the title was terrible. He was monotone. I did not like it at all. I feel like that's a big issue in a lot of guys right now in NXT. I thought the same thing about the promo that opened up the show this week on Wednesday. I thought the promo was pretty bad, pretty cringe to watch. Felt forced by both guys, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. And
I agree with you on that. I felt very weak.
yeah, I think that there is I think that he could have been down there for a while. I think he's getting exposed on the main roster. I think that's his big fault. Go back down there and he can just get that big long title reign because they need a face that draws. They really don't have that. Karrion Kross is over, but he's not a face. He's more of a heel.
Yeah,
He's a
he's
tweener
more of a
also.
heel
He's
guy.
a tweener.
Can we
He's a
talk
tweener.
about? Can we talk about the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff? I think it needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, I think it
because-
does.
Well, we'll get to that. I think there's a couple other matches we can definitely discuss and dissect.
Yeah,
and
like,
then we can get to
excuse
that
me.
part.
Somebody who's been on the show for a few weeks decided to take over.
Well, we're going to be skipping a couple
Oh,
of good matches.
excuse me here. I didn't realize somebody took the reins of the show. Okay. You are the last person to take the reins of the show. But okay, we could go back to whatever we were doing. Thank you for turning me off there.
So there was the Women's Championship, the NXT Championship match. That match should have been longer. It felt too short. I like how the match was going with Mercedes Martinez, Io Shirai, and Toni Storm in this triple threat. I thought what they were doing performance-wise was great. Having Io Shirai climb up the pole structure and jump off of it onto Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez was a cool thing to add to the matchup. And the match was very entertaining. It needed more time. It needed more time to show who was going to win, who was going to walk out the NXT Women's Champion.
How dare she bark like a dog?
Well, you know.
So Lyle, I want to ask you what were your thoughts on this women's triple threat? How did you think Io Shirai performed? And do you think this match needed to be longer? Did you think it needed more time added?
Well, I actually listened to the press conference afterwards with Triple H, and he said that they had all the time in the world. They had up to 25 minutes to go, and he said they thought that's what they wanted to do, and they had a botch in the match, and when the table gave out, and I think that's definitely what caused them to shorten it. I think they would have gone longer, but he said that they had as much time as they wanted to, and could have gone how long they wanted to, and I was very disappointed because that's their strength.
Yeah, that is their strength.
Women's division, and that match I think was the weakest match of the card.
Yeah, it was.
And I actually predicted that match to be the best match overall, and I was very disappointed.
Disappointed. I think things could have been better. I will say they made the right call with having Martinez be pinned instead of Toni Storm, because now you could have Storm versus Io Shirai.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the whole main goal of the situation. When you look at that, I think it's it was the right call, and it's unfortunate because I like Mercedes Martinez, but I think if you do a Shirai Toni Storm program, it's going to flow really well, and it's going to show the dominance of the women's division. And again, you like I said, you brought in Taya Valkyrie, who you just signed from Impact, so you're adding another element to the women's division. They have a very strong women's division, and it's growing. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez is a beast on this division now. So it's almost like they're replenishing from what they've lost the last few years.
And they're trying and doing a very good job of it so far. They're trying to add more and develop more to their roster. And I think that's the best direction to go, the best way to go about it for NXT.
No, absolutely.
Well, I've said many times on the show about what NXT's biggest fault, is, and it's a formula that will never really succeed on a professional wrestling show on TV. When you lose your top talent to go to another show every few months, that is not a formula to succeed.
No, it's not.
And they are trying to rebuild, and they had this problem years ago when they had that they lost like 5 or 6 guys in NXT, and they all went to the main roster. I think it was right after Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and all those guys left. Then they had nobody. And it wasn't like the same show. It took them like a year to really get built back up again. And they brought in EC3, they brought in Ricochet, they brought in some more guys, and then they went up and they were fine again because they had Gargano, and then they had Ciampa carrying the reins, they had Adam Cole, and they had the momentum continue going. And now they kind of, who on this show? Besides like Adam Cole and Karrion Kross and the guys who are in the main event and the women really draw you to this product.
Alex, who did we have on the show?
Phil Stamper a couple weeks.
Phil Stamper we had on before you were here, Lyle. We had Phil Stamper on the show a couple weeks ago, and he said the problem was when they got Ricochet and they got EC3. The same thing happened even with Austin Aries when they got Austin Aries and Shinsuke Nakamura came in. It was too many cooks in the kitchen at one time. So therefore, guys weren't getting the build that they should have gotten because, okay, Austin Aries was one of the better wrestlers in the world at the time. The problem was Shinsuke Nakamura became, Shinsuke Nakamura was as over as anybody. So it's almost like NXT
he was huge.
And the same thing happened with EC3. They signed EC3. Then the problem was Ricochet too.
Mm-hmm. And then they just went absolutely nowhere.
You're putting. I understand what they're trying to do. NXT. You also have to remember that was when Velveteen Dream's character started building.
They were hot for
it was too many. There were too many guys at once that they were bringing in at one time, and it was frustrating because. When you see something like that, you think, oh, this guy's getting signed, this woman's getting signed, and this person's getting signed. We see this all the time. AEW should sign this person, and this person, and this person, and NXT should sign this guy, and this guy. But then when you sign all these guys at once, it ruins the whole character of other people.
I have a huge question for you guys. With AEW starting, they pretty much took a giant chunk of the major indie talent who was available in the Elite. And NXT's formula for a while was them signing the big indie talent. They signed Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, signed Nakamura. They signed the big guys and brought them in, and that's what drove them. Now, who's in Ring of Honor to really be a megastar? No one.
No one.
New Japan, I think they stopped that hole of guys going, their major talent going. I think that's going to be cut off. I think they're going to be signing long-term deals. Jay White, a few years ago, said that he told the Elite that he was signed to a 7-year contract. He's not going anywhere for a while. So, is that big train, that big momentum train that NXT had for a bunch of years, is it dead? Who do they have to really bring in that's a mega star that you know of and he's going to immediately want you to come in? They don't have that name anymore. They don't have the Prince Evan. They don't have the Kevin Steen. They don't have the El Generico. They don't have the Nakamura anymore. Unless they're getting some over-the-hill guy, and once Tanahashi comes over when he's dead, which I never see happening because he's Tanahashi. But I don't think they have anyone to really build up anymore.
I do have a point to that. There is one guy who's in development. He's training at the Performance Center. He's in developmental right now. His name's Alex Zane. But Alex Zane, I've seen him in a lot of cool matches, even like death matches and destructive matches. But I don't think it's enough. It's not enough for one guy to be able to carry NXT. I think it needs to be more.
Now, Alex Zane he's very good, but he is not Adam Cole.
No, he's not.
He is not El Generico. He is not Kevin Steen. He is not all these major guys that they signed. AEW took all the major guys who were not signed to WWE. Hangman, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody, and they put them into their company. That isn't out there anymore.
No, it's not.
It's not. That is what made NXT like. That's what made them breathe. That's what made the blood flow through them. Is these top guys coming in, and they don't have that. There is nobody in development that's on that level of those guys who can really keep the train going, keep that momentum that they had for years.
I agree with you. I absolutely 100% agree with you. It has to be.
Because if you look past these guys who they have at the top of their card right now, who do you really care about on that show?
Who, NXT?
There's not one guy after the top guys that they have.
Well,
there are all guys that are like.
I mean, there are guys.
There are guys.
They're talented. They're talented. But who's gonna go? Oh, this guy is on there.
You act like there's nothing. You act like there's nothing.
After the top guys, there is nothing.
Well, you built. That's why you have
top
guys.
That's why you have top guys. You have top guys.
I don't agree with that. I still think there's guys, and there's guys that they're trying to build.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, they have to build them, but they have nobody on there that
give it
has
time.
That draw power.
Give it time. Give it time.
I don't think they have that right now. They don't have that right now.
You have to be more patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
You have to be more patient. I think you have to wait.
They're in a really tough spot.
Well,
that's their problem.
Because we're gonna go to break in a few minutes. We do. I want to get to the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I want to talk about that too.
And people were wondering, was this the right call to break up the Undisputed Era? I will tell you this. For those that never saw this, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had one of the biggest rivalries in Ring of Honor. Their rivalry was so big they actually wrestled for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Wrestle Kingdom in one of their matches.